I didn't think that shootout would ever end. I'm sorry, Johnny. It's just been a very long, exhausting day. What? All you do is lay around here all day while some of us have to work for a living. What do you have to be exhausted about? What are you talking about? That win by Vanderbilt over Mizzou took a lot out of me. Well, you kind of have a point there. Go Doors! Before you fly off the handle, Johnny, take a deep breath. Does someone somewhere have a voodoo doll collection of this roster? As always, not helping. I guess the season's over. So, that was the plan.
Why does it say placed on waivers?
Nothing said. I have to talk about dumb moves and a Pens front office. What the hell did I just watch? Do I really need to be here for this at this point?
I'm not having flashbacks to Game 4 against the Canucks last spring.
At this point, Johnny, you can just splice together old intros. Cue the intro.
Redemption take you home.
Preds tie the Los Angeles Kings 4-4, and then everyone's hands go up, way up, as the Nashville Predators defeat the Los Angeles Kings 4-3 in the gimmick, also known as a shootout, and defeat them Saturday night inside Bridgestone Arena by a final score of 5-4. Tonight at 501 Broadway, the Preds only led once during regulation, had to rally back multiple times, but when it counted most, they did so, and the back of a 2-goal and 1 assist performance by Ryan O'Reilly got him through the rough patch, and Ozzy Westblatt with the shootout winner sent the fans home happy tonight. This is going to be a condensed version of a Preds fan reaction video that I would have loved to put out for you, but the fact that it went to the gimmick and the Preds play tomorrow night means I have a very short window to get this out and done to you so you can see it before tomorrow's game against Dallas. Preds on their third game of the 5-game homestand, their second back-to-back of the season. Some unfortunate roster news coming into this game as it was announced that Roman Josi was put on the injured reserve list and would be week to week. Clearly something happened from the result of leaving the game and then returning on Thursday against the Canucks, but on the bright side, Nicholas Hague would make his debut for the Preds in this game. He looked solid in his debut, and Jonathan Marchessault returned to the lineup. For those who may have not heard, it's Anze Kopitar, Kings legend, last season. And it's his last game in Nashville. Nashville has 2 more games against LA later next year before the end of the season. So props to Preds PA announcer Paul McCann for letting everyone in attendance know, very classy. As for the period, very even period overall when you consider things. The shots were 13-12 for the Kings. And in terms of goal scoring, both teams able to get one past each other's netminder. Adrian Kempe for the Kings, and then Ryan O'Reilly with his first of 2 in this game, and it's 1-1 after the first 20 minutes. Aside from the shootout, one of the fancier goals in this game came early in the second period when Ryan O'Reilly was able to set up Matthew Wood and get a step on a Kings defender, resulting in a 2-on-0 for the Preds, and Matthew Wood sets up Philip Forsberg, who makes no mistake and beats Kemper. The Preds' one and only lead of regulation, going up 2-1. A lead that was short-lived because about a minute later, play in the Preds zone behind Saros' net, and Joe Armia is able to have the presence of mind to set up off of Adam Wilsby's skate. Bad deflection. Saros had no chance on it, and this game, just like that, is tied at 2. And then 4 minutes later, Kings in transition. Joe Armia, who got the tying goal, sets up Rat Boy. Yeah, Corey Perry's back in town because he doesn't know the meaning of quit and still wants to play hockey. And just what Preds fans want to see, Rat Boy gives the Kings a 3-2 lead. But never you fret, because wide open game about 3 minutes later. Preds in transition. Cole Smith, did I see that right? Yes, Cole Smith is able to get through Kings defenders Joe Edmondson and Drew Doughty and get a shot off that beats Kemper. We're playing with fire here, Both sides giving up goals, now tied at 3. And I don't know how many of you noticed how much the Kings were dominating the latter half of that second period. It was mentioned on the broadcast by Willie Donick and Chris Mason that the Preds didn't record a shot on goal for about the last 10 minutes of the second period. For a second period overall where the Kings outshot them 14-4. And I was thinking to myself, either near the end of the second or somewhere in the third, if they didn't pull up their socks, they were most certainly going to lose, being dominated like that. But the Preds can somehow take a breather in the locker room, rest up, tied at 3 after 2 periods. 5 minutes into the third period, the Preds have registered a shot, but it didn't result in a goal. It's just a shot. And nearly 9 minutes into the third period, the Preds are still being dominated by the Kings 5-1. I'm thinking, are they ever going to score again? Are they ever going to register a shot on goal? And it becomes even more scary when Trevor Moore gives the Kings back a lead that you thought would be well enough to hold up for them, giving the Kings a 4-3 lead. But ye of little faith, including me, because about 5 minutes left to go in regulation, Preds cycling in the Kings zone, working the puck well, and finally the Factor decides, yeah, I'll take over and get us back in this game. He gets the puck, beats Kemper. Somehow the Preds are in this game once again, squared at 4 apiece. Oh, but it got scary there during the end of regulation with back-to-back penalties that fortunately didn't overlap for a 5-on-3. Jonathan Marchessault hooked Warren Foegele, and then Cole Smith, just after Marchessault came out of the box, slashed Philip Deneau. But the Preds' rock-solid home penalty kill didn't fail them against the Kings power play that coming into this game was vaunted, and the Preds can breathe a sigh of relief. They're at least getting a point. Can they get a second one as this heads to overtime, tied at 4? In overtime, a fourth period where the Preds would outshoot the Kings 7-1. First off, they would have to kill off the remainder of the Cole Smith penalty that leaked into overtime. They would. These two teams would play 4-4 for a period of time. Fortunately, that also didn't cost the Preds. But then they would draw a power play. And did you really think the Preds were going to score? Really? This team that's only scored 2 power play goals all season? They had some good looks, but 4-3 with more ice to move around on and try to get passes or try to get shots off doesn't do this team any good. Kings kill it off, and we play on into the gimmick, tied at 4 after 65 minutes. As for the gimmick, also known as the shootout, I'm just going to read off of my notes because I'm not going to do jump cuts for 9 rounds of a shootout, and I'm not going to be able to memorize the order and what everybody did off the top of my head. In round 1, you had Ryan O'Reilly go first for the Preds. The Preds elected to go first. He scored. That was followed by Adrian Kempe, who beat Saros 1-1 after the first round of shooters. Second round, Phil Forsberg fakes backhand, pulls it forehand, and beats Kemper, followed by Rat Boy Corey Perry, who is unable to beat Saros, but he rings it off of the post, so it's 2-1 after 2 rounds of shooters. In the third round, Steven Stamkos can end it, but he can't beat Kemper. And sure enough, Trevor Moore, the Kings' third shooter, beats Saros. We're tied at 2 after 3 rounds of shooters. Fourth round, Jonathan Marchessault is poke checked by Darcy Kemper before he's able to make a move. That's followed by Quinton Byfield, who is stopped by Saros. Fifth round, Matthew Wood tries to go 5-hole, but he can't beat Kemper. Kuzmenko for the Kings appears like he tries to get off a second shot, but replays would show that maybe he fanned on his first shot. Doesn't matter. Doesn't beat Saros, and we're still tied at 2. Sixth round, Łuki Evangelista gets Kemper to commit, but he can't get the puck up, and it hits the post. That's followed by Philip Deneau, who fans on his shot. He can't beat Saros. Seventh round, Eric Hall goes high stick side for the Preds past Kemper, and Saros can end this game right here, right now with a save, but former Pred, of course, it had to be a former Pred who prolonged our agony. Kevin Fiala gets it past Sauls. This shootout is now tied at 3 as we play on. In the 8th round, Michael Bunting loses control and can't beat Kemper. Warren Fogle tries to use his long reach, but he can't get it past Sauls. And finally, in round 9, Ozzy Westblatt, in his first career NHL shootout attempt, he beats Darcy Kemper. And finally, just before you thought that this game might go on and on and on, Joe Armia is stopped by Sauls. Big fist pump by him and celebration by the Preds as the Preds win the gimmick, the shootout, by a final of 4-3. Win the game overall by a final of 5-4. Whew. So many times in this game, especially late in the third and maybe in overtime or the shootout, I thought the Preds would let us down, but they anchored down just like the Commodores and got the job done. Now, no rest for the weary as they have a back-to-back tomorrow night, Sunday, at home to the Dallas Stars, who fortunately for the Preds are also playing on the second half of a back-to-back tomorrow, having had to rally back from a 2-0 deficit to beat the Hurricanes in Dallas on Saturday night. Can the Preds string together a win streak and fill this fan base with some confidence and give themselves some credibility? We shall see. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked. You can find my social media and interact with me during every Preds game by clicking on a channel name. Tell all your friends about redemption and tell them that everyone deserves redemption and that they won't want to miss a chance to witness redemption.